Okay. Hi guys, my name is Edith and I am in the process of becoming. I am in such an interesting season of my life. I am unfolding and unraveling as a woman on a journey of self-discovery as I peel through the layers of who I am. And those layers are ever changing. I'm never one person in one season. It's like there's so many layers to me. And at times I'm unaware of those layers until I find myself in circumstances that bring out that person in me that has been dormant. I'm also learning to find comfort in exactly who I am. And finding peace with that, and with the fact that there are people that are not in alignment with me, nor am I in alignment with them. I'm in the process of figuring out when to step back because I know that, or I'm aware that I'm not made for this environment, but also having the discernment to know when it's fear because I'm outside of my comfort zone. But also just trusting myself and trusting that it all works out exactly how it needs to. I don't stay at places too long that I'm no longer welcomed in. And the easiest part is walking away. That's the easiest part. The hardest is after you walk away. There's a process of grieving. You grieve who you are or who you were in association with that environment. The dreams you had surrounding that environment, the hopes and wishes and the plans that you were making in order to just unravel so beautifully within that environment. There's so much grieving that comes with the identity that was so tied into that environment. But within that grief is an opportunity to find yourself, to kind of know who you are without that attachment to that environment. In a way, it's kind of similar to when I ask myself, who am I if I didn't have a name? I know I'm going on a tangent now, but at times I just reflect and remember that it is my mother and my father that gave me my name. It is they who poured into me, and I was molded into their image, their dreams and their visions, and influenced by the community that they were surrounded by. So to be honest, I've never truly known who I am outside of every piece of person and environment that I've interacted with that have molded themselves into who I am now. There are some wonderful qualities that come from that, and others that just need a bit more tweaking, and others that just must be and we must let pass. But at times I wonder, who am I without my name? Who am I outside of this identity that I've spent 27 years building and reconstructing, breaking apart and rebuilding it again, and and having external environments just kind of break me into pieces, and having to go find those pieces and kind of rebuild into an image that I am proud to reflect. When I die, I'm not my name. When I die, I'm not my accomplishments. When I die, I'm not the impact I made into this world, good and bad. There was a moment, I think I was 24, maybe 25. I spent my whole life talking about my trauma. Maybe 26. I spent my whole life talking about my trauma, what others have done to me, and the impact it has had on me, and how it's shaped who I am and how I deal with circumstances. And I've always been the victim for 26 years. It's so easy in the seasons when you're a bit down to kind of remember how people did you wrong, and how that has molded how you react to things, how you make decisions, all these things. But it's like, at the end of the day, I had to make the choice to react, to become, to just break down. But I sat back and I thought, I have hurt people. I have hurt people deeply and badly, and I've hurt others in ways that I don't even remember, but it's something that sticks with them every single day of their life. I've said some mean and nasty stuff that are either joking or taking jabs at you, so the wound, like, so that the jab you took at me doesn't hurt as much. But in truth, I've caused trauma to other people. I always reflect on the fact that your family is the first place, or your home is the first place where you experience heartache, heartbreak, trauma, your self-worth being broken down or being built up. A lot of firsts happen at home. And it's fairly easy to point fingers and say, you have hurt me in this way, and never consider the fact that I hurt them back too. Or I might have been the one to start something. And that extends outside of the family. The whole ideology of hurt kids hurt kids. When I've been hurt at home, I go out and I've probably done the same thing to others. And there's this weird in-between of coming into acceptance and realization that just as I've had trauma caused unto me, that I've carried with me everywhere I go, I have done the same to others. Others that I can name, and others I have forgotten. And the hardest part is taking radical self-accountability and responsibility over that. And seeking those people out to apologize, and accepting that forgiveness is not granted simply because I faced what I did, because they're still traumatized despite my apology. It is hard. And I'm still in the process of recognizing that. To be human is to experience both sides of the coin. One day you're the head, the next you're the tail, and sometimes in between. I want to accept all of my humanity without judgment, without running away, and I'm not there yet. And even with this opportunity of growth and maturity, there's still a lot of immaturity within me. There's still a lot of people that I'm gonna hurt, and there's still a lot of people that are gonna hurt me. Is change possible? Can it stop with me? Can I be kind even when the world is unkind to me? Can I work on making my little corner of the universe better? Is that achievable? Kind of want to derail from that, and I'm just thinking, I feel like I'm so mature now at 27 that I've learned so much, and I have so much to give and so much to receive. And but when I'm 30, 35, 40, 50, will I look back and think, oh, how sweet of you to think you were so mature? Will I even make it to those ages? I don't know. You know, it's funny that we're so scared of death. Because sometimes I feel like birth is the same process of dying. It just, the result looks different. I work in labor and delivery, and so I see the different processes of birthing. And it's like a child must leave the home that they've known and have grown accustomed to. A world that was so big when they were just a cell, that they've molded into until they've outgrown that comfortable world, that when they stretch their arms, they just hit walls. They can't even stretch anymore, and it's time to leave home. And there's tossing and turning that happens so that the child is in alignment with the canal, so that they may have a smooth entryway into the earth. But the environment in the womb is a completely different world from the environment outside of us. That even with their attachment to us, they don't know what it's like to feel air touch their skin. They don't know what it's like to feel the brightness of lights just shine upon them, or the artificial heat just penetrate their fragile skin. They do not know. And they're basically kicked out of their homes into something that just the unknown. And a child must pass through the canal and the pubic bone and twist and turn so that they can't come out just right. And in the process of a mother's body pushing the baby out, the baby must also do a lot of work to push themselves out. And there are times where the mother says, "Time's up." But oftentimes the baby knows it's time to come out, and their water breaks. And it's like that protection that kept them within that world and safe is now gone, and they must leave. And I wonder if that process is similar to the process of death. When we die, our bodies shake, and we sometimes things come out of our mouths. The water in our body dries up after some time, and we must close our eyes. And it's scary, but we must close our eyes. And I wonder when that process happens, because think about it, the child comes out, and the first thing they do is cry. They cry. Sometimes I wonder if they're grieving what they left behind. But I wonder if the death is the same, that we close our eyes and we die silently as we pass through the canal from this body onto the next. And when we come out on the other side, do we cry? Do we grieve for what we have left behind? So, I'm excited for when the time comes. Of course, I fear that there will be pain, but am I even gonna remember? that moment is always going to exist, but am I going to remember what it felt like to be in my body during that time? And I want to learn to be accepting that when my time comes, it comes. Just like when my time came to be born, I was born. And when death comes knocking, that it's just my time. I want to make peace with that. I want to stop fearing the unknown, because all life is unknown. And then we're just convincing ourselves that I just have to make a plan. I just have to do this so I know the next step, But life is unknown. And I want to welcome that. I want to embrace that wholeheartedly, the unknown. Because there's nothing really to fear. All I'm fearing is myself and the doubts that I'm reiterating to myself. And what do I know? Why is it that I'm convincing myself to experience such immense fear over something that I have absolutely no idea of? It's kind of silly, isn't it? Anyways, I think I'm done rambling. I can't wait to be able to look back on these videos and these reflections and think of how silly I am with all my little insecurities, my little thoughts, and the things I think I know of and don't know of, and also experience immense amount of joy and pride over the growth that I'm experiencing in the process of becoming. Edith, I love you, all that you are, even the parts of you I don't want to face.